Hi everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina. Welcome back to another Stampin' On Friday episode. First, we're going to start off by creating a background for our card. This is a piece of Tim Holtz watercolor paper that I sprayed with some water just to kind of saturate the paper. I pulled out one of my wider brushes for creating my background. Now, originally, I was going to go from a darker color to a lighter color, but I had practiced this before to see what it looked like, and I totally forgot which color was which, but it actually turned out to be a good mistake. So this was my color that I wanted to be my lightest color, and I ended up putting that on the bottom, and then I picked up another color which turns out to be the darker color, and I put that in the middle. So like I said, it turned out to be a good mistake because I end up covering my medium shade, which I put on the which I'm going to put it on next, which is on the top. And I end up covering it anyway with some pattern paper. So I'm just taking that another shade. It's kind of a lighter shade of that green color that I put in the middle, and I'm going to be making a really cute background with this with some other dyes. So once I have this all washed in, I'm going to go ahead and heat set this with my heat gun just to kind of dry it a little faster and help some of that color blend a little bit. So once I have that all dried, I'm going to use Mama Elephant's Stitched Frame die, and I'm just lining that up onto my watercolor paper. And this is where I kind of realized that that blue on the top actually makes a really nice, it kind of makes a really nice landscape because of its being very faded in the middle there. So I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. This die creates a cute little stitched edge going around the outside, and I really love that look. And all the dies that I use for my card today actually have stitched edges. So once I have that die cut, I'm going to pull out the Trio Landscape dies, which is another Mama Elephant's die set. And it's got three different kind of shapes for landscaping, and I really like the one that has this cloud border. So I'm going to use that up towards the top in that bluer section of my frame that I just cut out. And I'm just going to put that just a little bit lower than that stitching going around off the top of the die cut. And when this cuts out, it also creates a stitched edge as well. So the stitched edge actually ends up going all around the whole outside of that background that I created. So once I have that cut, I had die cut another piece of that pattern paper, which comes from the Boy Oh Boy stamp set, and I used the frame, the original frame, and then I'm taking another one of the Trio Landscape dies, and I'm cutting out a border that's going to go around off the bottom of that watercolor background. So again, that has all the stitching going around the outside as well as on that little landscape piece. So once I have that done, I'm going to grab a this is a Lawn Fawn stamp set. This is the Spring Shower, and I'm cutting this out onto some Nina 80-pound white cardstock, and I'm just running that through. This also has a cute little sun that comes in the stamp set, which I'm going to be die cutting in a second. I didn't break this die set apart. I could break the clouds and the little water drops out, but I didn't do that. So what I'm doing now is just going through the Boy Oh Boy paper pad and pulling out a piece of this yellow polka dot paper and searching all over my desk to find the sun die that comes from that Sunny Skies stamp set, or the Spring Shower stamp set. Things get lost so easy on my desk. So I'm just going to go ahead and die cut that sun in the Big Shot, and that also has a cute little stitched edge to it too. It goes around the center as well as every other one of the little sun rays. So once I have that die cut, I am then going to go ahead and start putting some of my card together. No, I'm actually going to do my stamping next. I'm sorry. The Sunny Skies stamp set has, from Lawn Fawn, has these cute little birds. So I'm stamped out both of the birds that are in this stamp set and stamped it onto the Nina cardstock. And I'm going to do a little bit of Copic coloring. I'm using two Copic colorings. I wasn't planning on doing any shading with this, but my BG11, which is this lighter shade of blue, is really starting to get dry. So I decided to pull out the BG13 to help kind of do a little shading and help fill in some of that color that the BG11 wasn't really doing because it's running out of the ink. So I'm coloring in both of the birds. I'm just laying down a full layer of that BG11 to give a little base color. And then once I have this all filled in, I'm going to then go ahead and do my version of shading. I am nowhere near good at doing Copic coloring and shading and stuff, but I knew that with this one running out of ink a little bit, I would help by taking my BG11 and touching it to the tip of the BG13, which I'm just using the chisel end to create some shading. So I'm just doing a little bit of shading in places that I think that would be a little bit of a shadow, a little darker on the wings, a little bit around the face of the bird and on the tails and the stomach. And like I said, this also helped cover in some of that section that I really couldn't fully do because of that other Copic marker running out of ink. So I'm going to have to think about putting on my shopping list the refill for the BG11 because I use that one quite a bit. So once I have this all colored in, I'm then going to go ahead and move on to coloring in the beaks of the bird. Okay, so for the bird beaks, I'm just using Y21 and just a little tiny bit of color for that one. Nothing too fancy because it's so small you don't really need to do any shading or anything. I'm going to go ahead and die cut this. These birds do have coordinating dies from the Sunny Skies Lawn Fawn die set. And it took me a couple minutes to figure out how to get these dies set up so that they're going in the right direction. This is the one I kind of keep turning and eventually I do get how to cut this bird out. It was one of those tricky ones that my brain just was not going with the die for some reason. So once I have those lined up, I'm going to go ahead and run those through my Big Shot machine. And normally with something like this, my plates are starting to get warped and I am using my magnetic platform, but I didn't really worry about it. I kind of was able to wing it because when my plates are warped, they slide around inside. So I'm ready to start putting some of my card together. I'm going to take that pattern paper that I cut out to be the same as the background of the watercolor paper, and I'm just adhering that down towards the bottom. And what I'm doing now is I'm adhering down the largest cloud. I did kind of set this up a little bit to try to make sure that I had that watercolor paper set nicely and it kind of was even on that pattern paper that I picked out for the background. And that background paper still also comes from the Cartabella paper set. So I adhered down that larger cloud. I put the sun on top of that. I'm going to put on the smallest cloud that's in that die set, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere down the medium-sized cloud, and I'm just putting that one kind of in the center of that background. So once I have that done, I went ahead and adhered down some of these wood veneers. These veneers, I'm pretty sure came from Studio Calico. I've had them for quite some time. They're a cute little alphabet veneer set. And my original plan was to make that hello kind of go down on the slope of that pattern paper on the bottom, but it just didn't look right, so I kind of had to fiddle with it and get it so that it was just going straight across my card front. So once I have those wood veneers put down, I'm going to go ahead and start adding adhesive to the back of my little watercolor paper there. So I'm building up this cute little scene. So I added some of the 3M foam adhesive, and that pretty much finished off my foam adhesive for my roll that I had. So I think I'm going to have to go ahead and get more. I'm going to adhere that down onto that pattern paper, which is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch pattern paper, and I'm just adhering that so it's center and the sun kind of helps balance out that onto the pattern paper. So once I have that done, I'm just taking some foam adhesive on the back of my little birds, and I am sticking those down to finish off my little scene that I created here. I'm then going to go ahead and take this little scene that I created and mount it onto my card base. And it's a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I did a 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. And that created my card base. I'm using my Nina cardstock, and that Score Buddy I've had for a very long time, and I don't even know if that's even available anymore, but it's one of my most favorite and most used tools for card making. And I'm just then going to go ahead and adhere the background piece that I did for my cards. So the last thing I'm going to do is just give a nice little final touch to my card by using my Wink of Stella clear pen, and I'm just using that to put some sparkle onto my sky, and I've also used it to finish out the wood veneers. So that's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Here are a few pictures of the finished card. As always, a link below is in the YouTube description and over on my blog for the supplies I used in today's video, as well as a link to today's blog post. And here are the last 3 Stampin' on Friday videos I have. If you just click on the pictures, it'll take you right over to those videos. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Thanks for watching.